first thing of order is the oath of office. So we have four school board members who were elected in November. And they all have their oath of office in front of them. What's that? Not this one, no, that's one. And so if you guys want to stand and raise your right hand, and then you can just read the oath in front of you together. Yeah.
I swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that I will discharge faithfully the duties of the office of school board member of Independent School District Number 477 to the best of my judgment and ability.
All right, our next item is to act on the agenda. So we need a motion to approve the organizational meeting agenda. Is there a motion
So
to do
moved.
that? Motion made by Eric Stramberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second and by Don. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the agenda has been approved. The next item is to elect a school board chair for 2025.
I'd like to nominate Deb Holmes to be school board chair.
Second that.
All right, there's been a nomination for Deb Alm for school board chair. Is there any other nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? I have to ask 3 times. That's why I have to do that. Any further nominations? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have the office of chair. Our next office, I will open up nominations for vice chair. Is there a nomination for vice chair?
Nominate Don Porto.
Okay, Don Bordeaux has been nominated for vice chair. Is there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? All right, hearing none, all in favor for Don Bordeaux for vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we will move on to the office of the clerk. I'll open up nominations for the office of the clerk. Is there any nominations?
I'll nominate Melissa Lynch.
All right, nomination's been made for Melissa Lynch for clerk. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? All right, hearing none, we will close the nominations then, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Melissa is clerk. Then we have the office of acting clerk. We'll open that up for nominations.
I nominate Eric Stramberg.
All right, Eric Stramberg has been nominated for acting clerk. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations for acting clerk? All right, we will close that. All in favor for Eric Stramberg for acting clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have one more, treasurer. We'll open for the office, nominations for the office of treasurer.
I nominate Eric Meeks.
Okay, Eric Minks has been nominated for the office of treasurer. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nomination? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations for treasurer. All in favor for Eric Minks for treasurer, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We are done with the officers. So we will move on to item number 5. Consider board compensation effective for January 2025.
I recommend that we keep it the same.
All right,
Second.
that was a motion or just a recommendation?
What are we recommending?
Yeah, we don't have to approve it. Um,
Has to
no,
go through. If there was an increase. it would
if there's
have
an
to go
increase, it
through
has to go
finance.
for finance and policy,
I
otherwise
could
it stays
change
the
it.
same. Gosh.
Going back though to number 4, I'm assuming you want us to just email you some committees that we wouldn't mind being on?
Yes,
Alright.
I think that's later on the agenda, but yes.
Oh,
It's under that.
All right, so if everybody's good with board compensation, we will move on then. Item number 6. We have to set our board meeting schedule for the year. And I don't think we have anything that is currently where we'd have to do another meeting. What's that?
Under 4.
Oh, it was under 4.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, yes, you do need to bring me the board committees.
I'm gonna resend my.
All right, so meeting schedule. Does that work for everybody? So we're the first and third Tuesday of the month. I think with elections and all that, when I look through here, I think we are okay.
I didn't see any that fall under normal.
No, because it helped now that we moved to the first and the third.
Instead of the.
We used to be the second and the fourth, so then we'd run into township elections and all of that kind of stuff.
And it's not a big election year.
It's not a big election year. We shouldn't have primaries.
Correct.
The only thing
So-
we should have is the township.
And that's the
Mhm.
second.
March.
And that's the second Tuesday, and
Okay.
so we're
So
good
we
there.
can't have board meetings on election night. So that's what we're.
And then we only have one meeting in November. So whatever elections, like referendums and
Yes,
little ones like that will happen that first Tuesday of November, but we don't meet on that.
yeah, we only meet I think it's mid-November.
Yes, the
Good. Do it.
All right, everybody good with that?
Yep.
All right, move on to item number 7. Consider resolution designating official depository for school district funds and investments for 2025. So in this resolution, we are listing all of our banks that we use. So that's what we need to do for that one.
Want me to read it?
Sure. You wanna make a motion?
Yeah, I will make the motion to designate Bremer Bank, First Bank and Trust, Wells Fargo Bank, Minnesota School District Liquid Asset Fund, City Group, PMA Securities /MN Trust, Sherburne State Bank, the PFM Group, Edward Jones, and Spire Financial as official depositories.
Second.
All right, motion's made by Melissa, seconded by Eric Minks. Any comments or questions on that one? It is a resolution, so we will vote by roll call for this one. And we'll start Eric Stramberg.
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
yes?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right, resolution passes. Item number 8, we need to designate the official school district publication for 2025. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
All right, so in this motion, we are designating the Union Times newspaper and our website as the official school district newspaper, so. Any comments or questions on that? We had a first and a second, right?
I don't think we have a second.
We
I'll
only had a
second.
first.
Yep.
Nice.
Don made the first, Scott made a second. Okay, losing track of myself.
Eric, are you still sure about that?
I have faith.
Any questions on that one before we vote? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are good to go on number 8. Number 9, designate bond counsel for 2025. Is there a motion to approve Dorsey and Whitney as our bond counsel for 2025?
So moved. Melissa.
Motion been made by Melissa. Is there a second?
Second.
second by Don. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have our bond council. Item number 10, designate attorney for 2025. Is there a motion to approve Rupp, Anderson, Squires, and Walsberger as the district's law firm?
So moved.
Motion made by Melissa. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Eric Strandberg. Any comments or questions on that one? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Item number 11. Consider a resolution authorizing the Director of Business Services and or designee to make short-term investments of school district funds.
So
The motion's been made by
Second.
Eric Strandberg, seconded by Eric Minks. Any comments or questions on that one? This one is also a resolution, so we will vote by roll call on that. And this time we're gonna start with Scott.
yes.
Don?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes there. Item number 12. Consider a resolution authorizing the superintendent and director of business services to lease, purchase, and contract for goods and services. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Melissa, seconded by
Eric Strandberg.
Eric Strandberg. Thank you. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we will vote by roll call again, starting with Don.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, that resolution passes. Item number 13, we're almost there. Consider resolution authorizing Director of Business Services to use facsimiles, whatever, signatures. Yeah, okay. So, is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion made by Scott. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jen.
She's in her books.
There we go. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we will vote by roll call with that one also, and we'll start with Eric Minks.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, we are through our organizational meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
So that was a meeting.
That was a meeting, yes. Now we go
They give these
into our
just-
other meeting.
Yeah, now we have another one, but I hear you guys have a pizza party that you
So,
might wanna be eating.
I was going to pizza party.
Yes.
If you have an extra seat.
Bring that.
You're welcome to stay too, and this second meeting isn't gonna take long, we don't have a long agenda, but it's up to you.
Okay, we'll sneak out.
Okay.
Watch us sneak.
Let's do a picture.
Absolutely.
Let's do a picture.
Whatever the meeting is.
What you doing? Where's my Dorothy?
All the people in the back, obviously.
Back there, stand there. Okay. Alright, we're gonna let these super tall guys stand behind you, otherwise you guys just like. There we go. Now Deb is almost as tall as you guys.
Good.
Okay, Daisies, can I have you kneel on the front? Brownies, I need you to be behind the daisies.
Lily, pay attention.
Here, actually, get on your butts, daisies. Brownies, get on your knees. And then juniors, okay, Jordan, I need you to be on your butt. Thank you. The juniors can go behind them and stand. Perfect. Thank you.
You can move over.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Chris
Now I can
Ross.
see everyone's
You might have to
faces.
punch in front of Donna, otherwise there's.
So go with me.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You're grounding.
What am I?
1, 2, 3, cheese. Here you go.
I need to punch.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you so much for coming.
What are your pizza party?
Thank you guys for letting us interrupt and ask questions. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, I usually go on, but click on the meeting. So then when I introduce myself, I want to go back to that.
You guys show me the just here.
All right, call this meeting to order. Please rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let the roll call show all board members are present. We do have one fall accommodation.
Yeah, and unfortunately, our fall commendation for state tournament for girls swim and dive is not present. But we do want to acknowledge Lydia Thompson for her strong work, making the state tournament, which we all know is like one of the most difficult things you can do as a high school athlete. So let's just, with her not being here, let's still give her a round of applause.
All right, our next item is citizen comments.
No excited.
Nobody signed it. All right.
Another girl, that's
All right, we will start then with board member committee reports. And we will start with Eric Strandberg.
I just had finance just before this and I caught about half of it. Yeah, that's all I had going on.
Finance. Scott?
No committee meetings as of yet, but I've completed phase 1 and 2 virtually through MSBA. And
Awesome.
I've met Don a couple times and Ben yesterday.
Good deal. You're ready to roll then. Like it. Don?
I had agenda planning, mentoring meeting with Scott, and then I had coffee with Ben.
Okay. Mr. Minks?
I did have a finance committee meeting before this meeting and that was it.
Okay. Melissa?
I did a leadership panel for the chamber. Some point in December that it was really fun, and it was about public service and why you get into public service and all that kind of stuff. And then I met with Jen as well.
I had agenda planning and just finance, so it's been a short couple of weeks, Jen.
She's still here. I met with Melissa and I met with Ben.
Good deal.
And actually, I came in and met with Emily. So getting the lay of the land. Thank
And
you.
you're gonna do phase 1 and 2 at the conference?
Yeah,
Okay,
next week.
in person.
Is that Tuesday?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
Tuesday night, no, Wednesday day.
Because I'm mentoring and I'm supportive.
You could go and do it again, Eric.
Yes, well, not for you necessarily.
Gosh, you
Alright.
guys get out of the house.
Also that.
Student council.
Yeah, switch tabs here. Pop tab drive still going on February 6th, so bring on pop tabs. This month is self-love month at the high school, so we're just continuing to, I think we're putting sticky notes on the mirrors with positive messages and stuff like that. Also, as all of you know, I go to the primary school and volunteered there. A fun tradition that they did yesterday is they participated in Dia de Reyes, so the Three Kings Day, where the three kings come in kind of like Santa Claus, kind of not, and they bring them presents. So each of the classrooms got like a present, and so it was fun to see all the kids' reaction to that.
And then we just finished collecting for our winter clothing drive, so now we have a table out front of the security, or just the office.
Yeah, all the buildings should.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of winter clothes that kids can take if they need them. We collected about 10 trash bags full of clothes, which is awesome. And then so those are being dispersed throughout the district, based on sizes, which is really cool. And then 10th graders also have a respect retreat this Thursday, which is hosted at the Princeton EV Free Church. And that's also incorporating link leaders from this year that are going to be doing some group activities. So that'll be
respect activities.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Very cool. All right, Ben.
Well, first of all, I want to tell the board how proud I am of all of you. I mean, it was just cool watching you share with them, what you do and what you enjoy being as board members, and just have great appreciation because, I'm aware of lots of school boards across the state and the country that aren't really functioning that well, and I get to observe you function at a high level all the time. So it's awesome. So thank you. I appreciate students referencing the respect retreat. That's something that we invested in this year that I thought was hugely important, a piece that we needed in terms of the student experience as it relates to improving climate and culture within the school district. We did it at Courage Retreat in the middle school, and at the elementary level, I think it was called the Kindness Retreat. And just one of the greatest organization I've seen in terms of just bringing people together and camaraderie, and is kind of making that class feel like they're one. And it's pretty cool. So I mean, if you get a chance to pop into this just to see for yourself, I definitely recommend it. Another thing that we're proud of that we started this year, that's a new thing for us, is in relation to staff development and this Voices framework that we participated in, where several of our students were interviewed and gave us insights in terms of what it's really like to be a student and a day in the life of students, and try and bridge that perception gap between what adults think is happening and what the students say is really happening. And it's just trying to bring some more empathy and understanding and awareness for our staff, on maybe what's happening when they're not looking, which I think is important for us to know. So that's a pretty cool thing that's new in relation to climate and culture and our action plan there. I want the board to know that we are working with the Alumni Association to try and get our Hall of Fame back up and running. That had been kind of stalled, and that's a disappointing thing, and we need to find a way to get that back and going. So hopefully I'll keep you posted on that. Our task force, as you know, is a huge part of what we're doing throughout this year. I feel like so far it's been a very successful process. It's been long, and it's been a methodical process where we've hit, one or two topics each month. Now, as we get into next Tuesday's meeting, the biggest thing is getting people there to participate. Because here's the thing, we know if we hypothetically go out for a referendum, we know that everybody's going to have an opinion on that, and people are going to want to say lots. And here what we're doing is we're trying for a whole year trying to say, hey, let's hear from you and what your ideas are ahead of time. And we're just trying to be transparent to share our story, like what's really happening, right? So that people can join us, because these really are the people's schools. And next meeting, we're really to a point where we're starting to boil down and culminate to get to a point. Next meeting, we're going to go through a process where we're going to really be prioritizing facility needs within the district. Once we get that prioritization, we'll ask our architects to put some dollar figures to that so that our committee knows, okay, these are priorities and this is what it's going to cost. Then at that following meeting, the last Tuesday in January, we will have two major agenda items. One is we will have Peter Leatherman come and share the results of our Princeton survey, which they just started doing their surveying, I think, yesterday. So they are throughout this week doing their calling and their surveying, so that we should have those results. And that should give us a decent idea of the guardrails that potentially people can support as it relates to any potential tax impact for anything that we may do. In addition, on that agenda, we'll also have elders come and they'll share kind of dollar figures in terms of what tax impacts would be if we potentially went for any kind of a building bond referendum, an operating referendum, or a tech levy. Kind of segueing off of that, we hope that we'll be able to, in that following meeting, share with that group our real numbers as it relates to next year's operating budget. In our finance committee meeting, we just started that process tonight. Within a month, we should be able to give them real numbers, so that that group sees this is what we have for operating dollars. This is the situation that we're in, so that they'll be able to give us input and insights and recommendations on, what's the most important things as we look out for the near future and the next 50 years, really. So we are still on track to potentially get a recommendation from that group to the school board in March-ish, or potentially April at the latest. With the idea that if the board were to make any decisions to go for a referendum, the timing on that probably looks like it would be like a November election. So we do have plenty of time. The good thing is I feel like whether people are supportive or not of this work, at least I feel like people are talking about it more, which is, I think, one of the biggest issues, is just getting people to pay attention.
For sure.
So I think the thing I need your help on is just encourage people to come and just talk about it. Just keep talking about it, because you know what? Here's the cynical side of me. I know that once we get into next September or October, and if we potentially are going up to talk to people about a referendum, I will hear from people that say, well, what's this? I've never heard about this before. You're just springing on us on this now. So, I mean, let's just get as many people informed now as we possibly can. And we really do want to listen. I think I have more to share. I'll just share one last thing, just for transparency, so the board is aware, is that, one of the things that we work a lot on, Michelle in particular, is transportation. And, as we get into our winter months and the cold, we have been down diesel mechanic, and I don't know if they've made any progress on that yet, but that makes things pretty difficult when things break down. And there's just some significant shortages in terms of drivers and those kinds of things. So, every day I'm amazed at what they do to put the pieces of the puzzle together to get our students to school, but it's really, really hard. And, the amount of things that, Michelle is doing at 4 and 5 and 6s in the morning, working with Palmer to try and kind of put the pieces together when we're short drivers, it's amazing. So I just want to thank them for that. But the board needs to be aware it's a challenge that we have and will continue to have.
Is there a way that we can somehow, I don't know, Skyward, something, just like let people with the busing know, like we are, like how hard we're working? I mean, not like, oh, look at us work, but like we have a severe shortage.
Well, we're on pace to put out a Tiger Times tomorrow, which is kind of our district communication that we put out about every 2 weeks. And we do have a large portion of that dedicated to transportation and to share the challenges that we have. And again, welcome people to consider to be a bus driver.
Right.
And if you know any people that like to wrench on diesel, engines.
Are they looking for full-time or part-time?
They'll
He's
take any.
retired.
Well, I don't know anything about engineering.
No,
No, it's not a job.
I think, I think that they,
Make an awesome bus driver.
I think that they would take anything, but it's hard. So,
I mean, I do once a year.
all right, so I'll end my remarks there unless the board has any additional questions.
I don't have a question, but I know I've had multiple students, I just had, a student reach out to me. Yesterday saying he won't be at the board meeting, but he was actually looking forward to just come and see how it works, so that's something encouraging, I guess. I know
You
a
mean the
few,
community ed?
no,
the
he
community
wanted to come to the
engagement?
board meeting to see how it ran, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And to the community engagement, there are a few kids, me and Morgan, will probably email them again to be like, hey, here's another meeting, you should come. I mean, just if they have any questions or anything, input, just to,
I know that this next meeting would be a really good one for them, because that's when we're gonna prioritize, you know, what are the biggest needs
For sure.
with facilities, and I know our students do have some really lots of input on.
yeah, cause we still have all of those emails, from the student forum that kids left their email interested, wanting to work, so that would be
I'd really appreciate it if you two could kind of
sweet.
put something out and try and get the students to come. Thank you.
That'd be good. All right, we will move on then to item number 7 to approve our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Eric Stramberg, seconded by Melissa. Any comments or questions on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Item number 8, discuss and act on previous board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve those minutes as presented? So moved. Motion's been made by Don. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Eric Stramberg. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. The consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Motion's been made by Melissa. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jen. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are on to our first information item, pre-sale report of the bond.
And Jody should be joining us via Zoom.
I am here.
Hello,
Hi, Jody.
Good evening. You want me to just get started, Michelle, or anything you want to say?
Yep.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the new school board members. I'll give a couple of little bit of information as background. So the bonds that we are talking about tonight were approved last summer for an indoor air quality project at your high school. And each year, the school board is required to approve a 10-year plan for your facilities maintenance projects. And this was one of the projects included in that plan. So now that we're closer to the bond sale, we're providing some updated information. At the December meeting, we also had you approve an updated resolution because you got the bid results from the project and it was a little higher than anticipated. So we had you adjust the par amount for this project and the bond issue. We also had you approve potentially refinancing or refunding, as it's called in the public world, refinancing some of your existing bonds. Refinancing of your existing bonds or refunding those bonds is very similar to refinancing a home mortgage, but you can't keep the savings for your budget. So the savings does get passed on to the taxpayers as part of reduced property tax levies. So anytime we can take advantage of capturing savings for your taxpayers, we've done that in the past, and we're continuing to monitor your 2014 A issue. We've been talking to you about that for a while to capture some savings. We did have bond sales for a few districts yesterday and today, and rates are looking pretty favorable starting off the year, and we're hoping those will hold into the time when we would sell your bonds. So we're updating our information and we'll provide you with an updated pre-sale report, assuming that all is looking promising still. So with that, I will highlight a little bit of information that's included in the pre-sale report that you have before you. So on the first page, we just mention the proposed issue, the purpose of the issue, which I just talked about a little bit, the statutory authority for this bond issue. This is scheduled to be a very short bond issue. So for the indoor air quality project, we would repay the bonds within 4 years. You will be participating in the state credit enhancement program, as you always do when you issue bonds. That's a program that's provided by our state free of charge. And under that program, then you get a separate rating from Moody's, your bond rating agency, at a nice high AA1. So Moody's has the state rated at a AAA, their highest rating that they provide. And they provide credit enhanced ratings to school districts in Minnesota at the AA1 rating. We would also be getting an underlying rating for your district again. And Michelle's always excited to go through that process. So we'll be working with Moody's on that later this week. Your current underlying rating is a AA3, which is a nice high rating for school districts in the state of Minnesota. On the second page, I'll just point out a few things in that second section, method of sale placement. You'll note that we are soliciting competitive bids for this financing, which we always do for the school district. We're likely to get a premium on the bond issue, and we'll talk about that when we look at the financial schedules. And then you'll notice in the review of existing debt, a statement saying that we are still monitoring your 2014 A bonds for refunding all or a portion of the remaining outstanding maturities in that issue. And we are certainly hoping that we'll be able to capture some savings as part of the bond issue from refunding those bonds. On the third page, I will just point to the bottom of the page with the other service providers. So you approved Dorsey and Whitney as bond counsel as part of your organizational meeting tonight. So we're working with them on this issue. Paying agent is Bond Trust Services, and the rating agency is Moody's. The next page, page 4, shows our schedule. So again, these bonds were approved back in the summer, at your July 16th board meeting. We updated that resolution as I discussed on December 17th. We had our due diligence call to go through the official statement with Michelle earlier today. We are going through the pre-sale report now. The official statement is scheduled to go out later this week. We have our conference call set up with Moody's on Friday, so send good vibes Michelle's way that day. And then we are scheduled to get bids on the bonds the morning of your regular board meeting on January 21st. We'll present those results to you that evening, and then we're scheduled to close on February 13th. So then we have financial schedules attached. These schedules you've seen for the project before, but now we have them updated with results closer to what we think are current market conditions. So the authorized bond amount at $1,535,000. I mentioned that you're likely to get a reoffering premium. You'll see that in the sources of funds section. And that is an amount that the underwriters would provide in above the par amount of the bond issue. We aren't certain that we will get a reoffering premium, and it certainly won't be exactly that amount, but that's our best estimate at this time. That can be used for project costs, so that will provide you with a little bit of contingency and cushion should you get a premium, because we size the bond issue so that the par amount would be sufficient in case we don't receive a premium. So ultimately, you'll see the net available for project costs right now. We're expecting to be about $1,520,000, and the project cost amount is $1,446,513. Page 7 of the report is the debt service schedule with the 4 maturities. As I mentioned, this is a very short term. So you'll see that we have the bid is awarded based upon the true interest cost rate, and that's included in the yield statistics at the bottom. And right now we have an estimate of 3.75%, and that includes about 50 basis points of cushion. So we would expect to be lower than that number should rates hold over the next couple of weeks. Page 8 is our detailed schedule of capital and debt service levies. So this is where we make sure that we're keeping your tax rate for these levies level or declining. So you'll see the existing commitments and the bonds that are outstanding, and your lease levy. You just have one remaining payment or one more year of levies on that. Your pay 25 levy is your last year for the capital lease levy. And then the bonds that we have scheduled for the facilities maintenance project included in proposed new board approved bonds, and then the combined totals. So from this page, then we take that tax rate, we put that in a chart on page 8, page 9, and show you how that plays out over time. So keeping the tax rate pretty level through taxes payable in 25. We are the 2000, the taxes payable 2034 bar. That's the maturity that we are eyeing up for refunding right now. So the majority of that bar represents payments related to your 2014A issue. So we're looking at restructuring that, paying it off more quickly, and then with lower interest rates, having some savings for your taxpayers related to that. And again, if things are looking good, we'll provide you with an updated pre-sale report showing you that refunding component. So it'll be a two-purpose bond issue, and we'll include the refunding and some estimates for that refunding savings. Questions related to the bond issue?
Questions for Jody?
And if not, I'm hoping I'll see some of you at MSBA, and existing board members know where to find us, so you can tell your other board members to follow their nose and you'll find our cookies.
Cookies, right?
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
thank you very much. I don't think there's any questions. You did a really good job explaining that, so.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you at MSBA.
Sounds great, you guys. Thanks. Have a good rest of the meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, we'll move on to the next item, information item is the legislative platform.
You know, I don't have a whole lot of commentary on this. I wanted to get this in front of you as a draft. So we have 2 weeks to, modify and refine this. So I would just encourage you to read it. And if you have any feedback, we'll make those changes, and then I would bring back a final proposal next board meeting that would be our official platform. And that's what we would use to share publicly in as many places we can. That's what we'll be giving our legislators, what we'll be using when we take a delegation to the Capitol to lobby 1 or 2 days. And I think it's just something that we started last year. We're really proud of, and we want to keep going. There's certain things in there like, we don't know that we love the picture, we might change the picture yet. We're kind of dabbling with that a little bit, and a few other things related to that. So there's things that we can do, but just take a peek at it. One thing that's a little different is that you can see that there's a companion, letter from myself that is a little different than what we had last year, that just has a little bit more explanation in a different way, in addition to the actual platform.
I really like that addition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, just let me know if you think we should change anything. I'm not married to this. It won't faze me if you want me to change anything, so.
All right.
Is students get a cup? Did we get a cup?
To the Capitol?
Yeah.
Well, my assumption is that we will definitely want to bring students again.
Cause I would love to. keep those.
So,
Pretty cool.
we'll have to, yeah, it was a cool experience. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We haven't talked about when we want to go and who's going and those kinds of things, but awesome.
And the legislators is your intended audience for this?
Mhm.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so who's the audience,
Well, the audience, first and foremost, is the legislators, but I feel like we have to educate our community on what the issues are, okay? I don't know, we need to continue to tell everyone we talk to about the idea that your zip code should not determine the amount of resources that children have for their education. And you know what, any way you look at it, and this isn't whining, we're not asking for special treatment, we just want fairness, right? Our kids, we have $3,000 less per student than the average in the state of Minnesota. You put a pencil of that, that's almost $10 million that we should have annually in revenue in addition to run our school district. We do more with less. right? And we're struggling. We're struggling. And, I just think people need to be aware of that. And people need to know it, because our legislators certainly will listen to lobbyists and they'll listen to school board members, but you know who they really will listen to a lot more, probably than any of us, is just the public, the community members, other people getting involved. And so yes, legislators, obviously, but the power is in the people understanding what our platform is. And again, these are the community, these are the people's schools. And we're funded by the state. And the state has kind of forced school districts in a position where they almost have to go out to their public and ask for additional operating referendums. And that's where the system is broken and unfair, because it's all based upon your net tax capacity in your community. And if you have a high or if you have a low, that's a major difference, right? Here's one thing that they talked about in the last C/staff, schools advocating for fair funding. This is something I found so interesting. The schools in the metro that already received the maximum referendum dollars, like your Minnetonkas and these kinds of places, okay? They're already getting like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per pupil unit more than us. They're going to their legislators and say, you need to raise the cap. Because even though we're already getting the maximum, we need more. Doesn't that tell you something? Isn't that, I mean, again, I know I get a little passionate about it, but that's kind of like a slap in the face as far as I'm concerned. One, they're saying that they're getting that much more than us, and it's still not enough. And two, they think, boy, this would be really easy to pass more money, because it's really not going to impact our taxpayers that much, because they have that much bigger of a tax base to draw from. So I'm sure you didn't want all of that. Sorry about that, but it's for legislators.
I would have raised my questions.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, it is for legislators, but it's also to educate our public.
Okay.
Thank you.
Question, do we have that? I remember last time we went, we had like this pizza graphs, and I remember that. It was,
Yeah, we'll get all of that. Yeah, for sure.
sorry, that was kind of random, but.
All right, any other questions about the legislative platform or comments? All right, we will have 2 action items tonight. The first one is the LTFM budget.
Yeah, and we went through that in December.
Yep.
It is all the same.
Okay.
And we're just asking you to, we've added some projects to our Fund 6 area due to need.
Okay.
Move to accept the LTFM budget as presented.
All right, motion's been made by Eric Banks. Is there a second?
Second. Melissa can have it.
That was Jen.
Oh, that's Jen.
What was both of us?
Second, motion's made by Eric Minks, seconded by Jen. Any comments or questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that budget is approved. Last information item is the Rum River Special Ed Co-op Joint Powers Agreement.
Just a little commentary. We've talked about this for several months. You've had multiple presentations on it. I've talked to many of you individually about this. We're recommending that the board approves this, and we would be the last district then to vote on this. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the Rum River Special Ed Co-op Joint Powers Agreement as presented.
Second.
All right, motion's been made by Eric Stramberg, seconded by Melissa. Any questions or comments on the Joint Powers Agreement?
It's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer, yes. Agreed.
Just a question, was this something we need to do a roll call on, right?
Yeah.
Probably we do, yes.
Yeah, let's just do that to be
Okay.
safe.
We can do that. All right, we will vote by roll call then, and we will start with Melissa.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We are good to go on the Joint Powers Agreement. There are no additions to the agenda. Future meetings, you can see all those listed. Next Tuesday, Community Task Force meeting, so
Bring your friends.
Bring your neighbors, your friends,
No.
whoever you can get.
Cause I'm gonna be.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Don, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Eric Nanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Good job, everybody.
Thanks,
Lori.
Anything
Everything.
Made it through the whole.